What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Make sure to like and sub, and let's get into this. And you're certainly doing that because, well, before the drinker, I had about, I think it was 1460 subs, and we are, let's just say 10 away from 2,000. So if you're wondering if you've been watching the channel but you don't know what the hell happened and why I've suddenly racked up over 500 subs, well, you can thank the kingmaker that is the critical drinker, and when he uploads it on his live channel, by all means go watch that, because apparently I did not do a horrible job. And thank you, all you people that are new here from the critical drinker. I hope I can really earn that sub. I know you got a taste of maybe my vibes and you like that. Well, I hope that my content can live up to it. I try to do the same things Drinker and all of us have done for like movies, but I try to do it for everything, to show the infiltration and the ruination of all of our stuff, from comics to games to everything. And here we are focusing on games, and the whole just did that article, the lovely article from the renowned gaming journalist Erwin from Nerd Wars. And of course, he is, at least at the beginning part of his apparently 10-part series, he showed you the foundations at the beginning of what really is a continuation of the first Gamergate. And we talked a bit about how the tactics used aren't working this time. And to that end, a little bit of meat and veggies here. Let's save the meat and give it to you raw later. Right now, this first one is GDC is going on, Game Developers Conference. And yes, we will be covering it. We're waiting for them to have all their crazy meetings and say all the quiet parts out loud and say all the racist things that we meme on them for. But before that, they had a little meeting, and you can see here in a scene straight out of a surreal indie game, a group of over 50 game developers descending on Yerba Buena Gardens in what can only be described as a bizarre display of collective angst. Their mission? To scream. These individuals took part in a cult-like congregation at the GDC, organized by former Epic Games producers. And it was a motley crew of disillusioned developers armed with woke ideology and esoteric signs that read "Scream," assembling in the park at the GDC with all the solemnity of a religious gathering. Oh, I butchered that name, I know. And then at the stroke of noon, the cacophony began, a cacophony that could only be described as equal parts pitiful and pathetic. And yeah, here. Very similar to the one that we all make fun of for screaming at Trump's, the chick with the green. There you go. This is all against Gamergate and patriarchy. Probably all out of breath after that. Yeah, so that was that. And of course, these are the people, these are the screamers that are going to go off and talk about all of their dirty little tactics. And these are, we got all those fun things from Kim Belair from Sweet Baby Inc. talking about, taking out your marketing team and terrifying them if they don't like what you are offering. Well, the other meltdown, and here's the meat, the Kotaku editor-in-chief resigns over site changes that were instigated by the Sweet Baby Inc. scandal. And so here we have the memes, of course. I love this one. Yeah, where anyone that doesn't love what they do, it's the go-to tactic. It's what they did in the first Gamergate. And it's quite frankly what the mainstream press does anytime they're attacking the fans. They just call us fanatics, racist, sexist, homophobic, all the fun things that you've been called a billion times. So 2 weeks ago, senior editor at Kotaku, Elisa Mercante, right, and this is, of course, the lovely little liar who said you can't be racist against white people, wrote a deliberately misleading hit piece against gamers in defense of the degenerates at Sweet Baby Inc. and their toxic CEO of terrorism who got caught forcing gaming companies to adopt DEI in game development, which in turn kicked off Gamergate 2.0. And of course, I will also point out the stipulation that Sweet Baby Inc. didn't force anything. These demons were willfully let in the house by already corrupted and wokeified game studios, which we've covered extensively. As Nerd Wars likes to say, the call is coming from inside the house. So Sweet Baby Inc. is just an indication that, oh, yes, in fact, it has been taken over. but assume that almost every game company, with the exception of a very few, like the Helldivers, which is a AA, Arrowhead, most of them are taken over by woke ideology, and they are the ones that ask these consultant companies to refine or enhance their already ruined products. And that, unfortunately, has been proven to me by autistic levels of research that Nerd Wars has done. So again, Sweet Baby Inc. is very bad, but just because they are yet again a connection and indication of already ruined things. So usually using the usual legacy media tactics reminiscent of Gamergate 1.0, the hit piece gaslit gamers and accused them of running a harassment campaign against Sweet Baby Inc. Now it appears, after 2 weeks of Gamergate 2.0, that the sleaze rag is going down. Yesterday, editor-in-chief Jen Glennon posted on X some personal news. I have resigned from Kotaku, and Jim Spaniel-Fair is a herb. I don't know what that means. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Let's see. This is someone agreeing. Extremely proud of Jen for taking this ethical stance in response to profoundly misguided anti-journalism ethics. Any modern journalist talking about anti-journalism is a hilarity. John Glennon, who assumed the role of editor-in-chief in October, tendered her resignation. Jen Glennon, who assumed the role of editor-in-chief in October, tendered her resignation on Thursday. In her resignation letter, Glennon cites the management team's recent shift to prioritize guides over news as her reasons for stepping down. Glennon is the second editor-in-chief of Kotaku since Stephen Totilo's departure in 2021, succeeding Patricia Hernandez, who was dismissed in August 2023. Well, the problem is that Kotaku, all they knew how to do was a bunch of clickbait rage articles that would gaslight everyone, or not actual substance, not anything actually related to gaming. Now, I don't think it's a good idea for them all of a sudden to be doing gaming guides, but okay. Glennon's resignation letter read, "In light of careful deliberation, I have determined that the existing management structure and decision-making procedures at GO Media do not align with my values and aspirations for Kotaku," and added, "I am firmly convinced that the choice to invert Kotaku's editorial approach, prioritizing guides over news," and that news I'm putting air quotes over, "news is fundamentally misguided considering the current framework of the platform. This decision directly contradicts months of traffic analytics and demonstrates a remarkable disregard for the well-being of the remaining writers and editors employed here." Right. So no one's denying that it got clicks, but it doesn't get returned aside from the people covering it and going to their site just to cover their horrible articles. A lot of those clicks are just people look at the fan thing, the bait, the horrible takes that they've said, and they go off, and then they don't come back. And so it's very hard to repeat that, which is why overall, if you look at those analytics, they were going down and they were going out anyway. And this is just going to speed along the process, which I'm happy for. As per information from a source similar with the matter, the staff at Kotaku will now be required to produce 50 guides per week for their website. Presently, Kotaku's homepage showcases a prominent game tips and guides section at the top, occupying a space that was previously dedicated to significant stories and breaking news. But see, they are pretty much incapable of covering breaking news without pissing off all the fans because they have to push their ideologies as a corporate masters. Staff members have voiced their criticism of the homepage overhaul on social media, highlighting that guides are not Kotaku's primary source of traffic. And that would be true. Alyssa Mercante, who covered Sweet Baby Inc., is clearly upset about this ostensible pivot from woke propaganda to games and tips, and posted on X the fact that leadership wanted to aggressively pivot Kotaku, what Kotaku does in the midst of a harassment campaign levied against me. No. The only harassment campaign levied against anyone was the one that Sweet Baby Inc. by way of Chris Kindred initiated against Kabrutus, which backfired horribly. Shout out to Kabrutus and his over 300,000 people following the Steam curation list. Sweet Baby Inc. detected. Anyway, so she goes on to cope here that the harassment against the site for an original piece of reporting that was the second most read story for over a week is telling, mama. Ugh. Oh, it drove industry-wide conversation and is still driving it. But what about how to get coins in Super Mario 64? And that's not an ironic joke. She probably thinks that Super Mario 64 and all that is the latest games in. Yeah, that's the other part. They wouldn't be capable of doing this anyway. So of course they had to leave. Kotaku staff is having a complete meltdown on X. Kotaku staff writer posted, "Okay, no bullshit to everyone cheering about Kotaku's slow death. Fuck off." Okay. No, but thank you. Hate all of us all you want. I don't care, but this is our livelihoods. Find another livelihood, bro. It's a sinking ship. There's a corrupted sinking ship. It deserves to go down. No one's saying you have to stand on there like you're fucking the captain and just go down all the way or watching the band play. Just leave. Learn to code. Isn't that what they were telling everyone? There's a lot of worry about our jobs because, we have families and shit. Yeah, well, yeah, again, to what I just said. It is rather ironic coming from a journalist who pushes DEI propaganda and covers the causes that slow the death of the gaming industry and the thousands who lost their job. There's literally thousands. I think we're like at 10,000 or something of people in the video game industry that have been cut. Do you think Gamergate 2.0 took down Kotaku for good? No, not for good. Well, yes, it is going down for good. Now, whether that was Gamergate or just the natural was going to happen no matter what, it certainly helped. It certainly helped, but let me know what you think. Were you going to Kotaku? Did you hear Kotaku mentioned in any other thing aside from gamer or content creators making videos about them saying, look at this bad take? Same thing with IGN, or Polygon or any of these sites. Are you actually going to them for gaming news? Or is the only time I ever hear them or talk about them is when we're memeing on them and their horrible articles and the people they employ melting down. So thank you for the likes, shares, and subs. If you've done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. I welcome all of the new members of the Badger Legion, and I'll mention it again in the next video, but tonight we will be going live on the podcast that is every Friday with my co-host, Mr. Tech Rat. I believe Nerd Wars will join us for a little bit. 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're able to join us, I know it's late for East Coast, and certainly it's unless you're a night owl on the United Kingdom. But please, if you can join us, that would be great. 9 p.m. on this channel, Inside the Badger Den, episode 14 live. We'll talk about all the crazy things, all the things that have happened throughout the week, my appearance on Open Bar, all the insanity, and hopefully, probably by tonight, the channel hitting 2,000 subscribers. So if you are one of the still 90% of people and you've come to the channel now and you're one of the 90% of people that have been watching the channel but you're unsubbed and you're wondering why, oh my god, look, over 500 people, you too can join in on this hype, and we will see you tonight on Inside the Badger Den, 9 p.m. this channel. See you then, and what?
Well, bye.